Hello students and welcome back to the second video of your chapter 8, the hack driver. Already we have done the line to line description till page number 49. So today in this video we would do the page number 50, 51, 52 from your book Footprints Without Feet. So before starting the video, let me tell you, we were doing the story about a young lawyer who comes to a village to serve summons to Oliver Lutkins. A friendly hack driver takes him round the village in search of Lutkins. So does he find him? And who is Lutkins? We are going to know in this video. So we are going to start the part 2 of this of your chapter 8. So when the hack driver was taking the lawyer to the village, so it was already past 1 and he was feeling hungry. We have already discussed that in video 1. So what happened now? Now he was hungry, so he proposed a lunch to the hack driver. How about something to eat? I suggested. So the lawyer suggested to the hack driver to have a lunch. Let's go to a restaurant and I will buy you lunch. Moreover, he proposed to purchase lunch for him as well. So what was the reply of the hack driver? Well, I ought to go home to the wife. But he just declined the proposal. I don't care much for these restaurants, only 4 of them and they are all bad. Moreover, he informed the lawyer that there were only 4 restaurants in the village and all were very bad in terms of serving the food. So tell you what we will do. Moreover, he proposed or suggested an idea. We will get the wife to pack up a lunch for us. She won't charge you more than $50 and it would cost you more for a greasy meal in a restaurant. He proposed that I would take home food made by my wife for both of us, and that would not cost much, only $50. So you can easily understand that he was greedy for money because he was charging per hour. Moreover, the lawyer offered him the free lunch, yet he was charging for the lunch, that is $50. So the hack driver was also greedy. Fine. And moreover, he gave the excuse that the restaurant food would be greasy, oily, okay, and that would not good for health. So, and we will go up to the very hill and enjoy view while we eat. Moreover, they would go to one picnic point in that town and they would enjoy their meal there. So, I know that Bill's helpfulness to the young fellow from the city was not entirely a matter of brotherly love. So the writer is saying that we came to know that whatever help Bill was proposing to the young fellow, means the young lawyer, was not entirely only because of the brotherly love. He was also charging for everything because the lawyer was paying him for his time. In the end, I paid him for 6 hours including the lunch hours. So Bill also charged for the lunch hours. He charged for searching the Lutkins. Also, when they were having lunch, he charged $2 from the lawyer. So at what was then a very high price. So really it was very expensive. But he was no more dishonest than I. But lawyer gives the explanation that he was not dishonest than him. Why? Because I charged the whole thing to the firm, because the lawyer was going to charge all things from his law firm. Means he would have the compensation for all those things. But it would have been worth paying him myself to have his presence. So moreover, he was so happy to be with Bill and enjoying his company. So he was quite happy with paying the money to him. His cheerful country wisdom was very refreshing to a country boy like myself who was sick of the city. Moreover, Bill was explaining each and everything in the village. I have told you earlier as well, country here means village. So he was also from village, and he was really sick, means he was really missing all the country life. So when Bill was explaining each and everything of this village and his knowledge regarding his village, and he was rejoicing each and every talk with him. As we sat on the hilltop, looking over the pastures and creek with slipping among the trees, he talked of New Million. So when they were at the picnic spot where they were enjoying their lunch and talking about the village, and there were small streams, and there were many kind of birds. So they were really enjoying their time, and he started talking about, means Lutkins, that Bill started talking about the surroundings, that is New Million, and painted a picture in the words of all the people in it. And Bill was explaining each and every one, and as he was talking about the people, a picture regarding them was coming into my mind. So it was very picturesque when he was telling about the village and its villagers. He noticed everything, but no matter how foolishness, he noticed everything. So Bill was having a keen observation of the people and their personality, but no matter how much he might laugh at people, he also understood and forgive their foolishness. But he was kind enough to be with such foolish people, yet he was making fun of them, yet he was admiring them as well. So he described the minister's wife who sang the loudest in the church when she was most in debt. He also described the minister's wife who, whenever was in a most deserted positions, like was most in debt, so she used to pray loudly in the church. Okay, means praying to God very loudly. So it was clear that that time when she would pray very loudly, it was that she was in most in the depths. So he commented on the boys who came back from college in fancy clothes. Moreover, he also described about the boys who went to college and then started wearing very fancy clothes there. He told about the lawyer whose wife could never succeed in getting him to put on both a collar and a tie on the same day. He also told about a lawyer in the village whose wife could not have that kind of efficiency to make him wear collar and a tie at the same day. Means she was not able to manage the things nicely. He made them all live alive and live, like it was like a live telecast made by him. So on that day I came to know New Million better than I did the city. So that day he came to know a great deal about the New Million, that is the village, and he did not know about these things where he was living, because there was no one who could tell him what were the surroundings and to love it better. And more and more when he was hearing the things about New Million, he was falling in love with the place. Bill did not know about colleges and cities. So Bill, with his talkings, the lawyer came to know that he never went to any colleges or never went to any cities, but he had traveled around a lot of country. Again, country means village. But he traveled many villages, so, and had a lot of jobs, and he had a lot of professions changed. So from his adventures, he had brought back a philosophy of simplicity and laughter. So after living a great deal of life, like in various professions or in villages, so his funda of life, means his philosophy of life, was only simplicity and laughter. He strengthened me, and moreover he was empowering the lawyer. Moreover, he was giving inspiration to the lawyer. We left that peaceful scene of meadows means gardens, and woods means forest, and resumed our search of Oliver Lutkins. And we again started searching for Oliver Lutkins. We could not find him, but they were not able to find him. At last, Bill cornered a friend. So what happened? So at last they cornered a friend of Lutkins, then made him admit what he guessed. Oliver's gone out to his mother's farm 3 miles north. So he informed us that Oliver might have gone to his mother's house that was 3 miles away in the north. We drove out there playing planes. So we had already made up our mind to go to the mother's farm to find out Oliver Lutkins. So let's move to the next page. I know Oliver's mother. She is a terror. Bill sighed. Bill was explaining about Oliver's mother. He informed the lawyer that he knew Oliver's mother and she was a terror. She was really horrible. I took a trunk out there for her once and she almost took my skin off because I did not treat it like a box of eggs. How he knew her? Now he was explaining that one day I had delivered a trunk to her farmhouse and she was almost ready to kill him because he did not treated the trunk as an egg box. Means he just placed the trunk very roughly on the floor and she was shouting on him why he was placing the trunk so rudely. Okay, she has about 9 feet tall and 4 feet thick and quick as a cat. Moreover, now he was explaining about the physical appearance of that mother. So Bill was explaining that the mother was 9 feet tall, 4 feet thick and quick as cat. Although she was fat and thick and 9 feet of height, which was really exaggeration. So but she was also very quick and she sure can talk and she was a witty lady. Sure can talk means she was a very witty lady. I will bet Oliver heard that somebody is chasing him and he has gone on there to hide behind his mother's skirts. So moreover he was explaining why they could not find Oliver in the town because he might have known about that somebody was chasing him or we were looking for him. That's why he went to his mother's farms to hide himself there. Well, we will try her. So okay, we will see what she would say, but you would better let me do it, boy. Again he made the lawyer to be at back foot and proposed him that you better be behind me, and you may be great at literature and law, but you haven't had real training in swearing. So swearing means abuse. So what he told him, that you might be better in literature, you are so literate and you are having a knowledge of law and order, but you are not good in talking to the villagers in their languages, like they used to abuse each other whenever they are talking. So when we went to the farm, so it was a poor farmyard and we were faced by an enormous and cheerful old woman. There we met one big sized woman who was very cheerful by the looks. My guide bravely went up to her and said, so my guide went there and very bravely he asked, remember me, I am Bill Magnuson, the carter and the hackman. He introduced himself and also informed her that he was from the courier company or the hack driver. I want to find your son Oliver. Moreover, he also told her the reason behind our visit. I don't know anything about Oliver and I don't want to. But the woman was so aggressive when he asked about Oliver. So she said, I really don't know anything about him and I really don't want to know about. Okay. Now look here, we have had just about enough nonsense. Bill made it very clear that we had already deal with a great kind of nonsense. This young man represents the court in the city, and we have a legal right to search all the property for this Oliver Lutkins. Moreover, he also made it very clear to the lady that I was from court, and we have the legal right to search her property for looking for Oliver Lutkins. Bill made me sound very important. So when Bill was explaining about me, he was really sincere and describing it with very sincerity by possessing me as very important fellow. And the woman was impressed, and I thought that the woman was so impressed by the description he made about me. She retired into the kitchen and we followed. So she went back to the kitchen of the house and we started following her. She seized an iron from the old-fashioned stove and marched on us shouting. So what she did next? She took an iron rod from the stove, which was hot, and she started following us. You searched all you want to if you don't mind getting burnt first. So she was behaving so. She made it very clear. If we wanted to search all we could, but first of all she wanted to burn us with that iron rod. She shouted and laughed at our frightened retreat. When we started running, she was making fun of us by laughing so loudly. So this was really arrogant behavior of Lutkins' mother. Let's get out of here, she will murder us, Bill whispered. Then Bill told me there in a very low sound, like whispering to my ears, saying that we should leave the place at once because she was in a mood to murder us. Outside, he said, "Did you see her smile? She was laughing at us." When we came out from that farm, he told me that, did I notice the behavior of the mother? She was making fun of us. I agreed that it was pretty disrespectful treatment. I was totally agreed with Bill's explanation about the behavior of the mother, and it was really disrespectful to treat someone like this. We did, however, search the house, but somehow they searched the house since it was only 1 story high, because it was only at the ground floor. So Bill went round it, peering in at all the windows. So Bill took a round of the farmhouse, and he was peeping into the windows like he was looking very closely through the windows, and they searched the house like this. We examined the barn and stable. So barn means granary, where some could store the wheat and other things. So it is called granary. So we searched the barn and stable. Stable means where they used to keep their horses. So we have searched the place thoroughly, but it was not any fruitful result there. So they could not find Lutkins there. Fine. So they searched. We were reasonably certain that Lutkins was not there. So when they have searched all the farm, they came to the conclusion that Lutkins was not there even. It was nearly time for me to catch the afternoon train, and it was my time to depart from this village and to go back to my place. And Bill drove me to the station. Bill was so generous that he dropped me to the station. On the way to the city, I worried very little over my failure to find Lutkins. When the lawyer was going back to the city, he was least bothered about whether he could find Lutkins or not. Why? Because I was too busy thinking about Bill Magnuson, because he was lost in the thoughts of Bill Magnuson and his kind behavior. Really, I considered returning to New Mullion to practice law. Moreover, the lawyer was planning to shift to New Mullion to practice his law. If I had found Bill so deep and richly human, might I not grow to love Fritz and Gustav and the 100 other slow-spoken, simple, wise neighbors? So he was thinking that Bill was so generous, so genuine in behavior, and so richly human. So why not he would find Fritz, Gustav, and other very soft-spoken people the same nature, and he was really happy to have such neighborhood. I pictured an honest and happy life beyond the strict limits of universities and law firm. He was just imagining a life without any kind of strict rules and moreover any restrictions. He was really picturing a happy life there in New Million. I was excited, and when he was dreaming about all this, he was getting so much excited. Means he was stimulating all these things. I had found a treasure. It was like he got something very precious, which was really of a great value. I had discovered a new way of life because today he got a new way of life, means he wanted to settle himself to New Million. But if I did not think much about Lutkins, the office did. But when he went back to his office, although he was least bothered about whether he found Lutkin or not, but the office had only one thing in their mind, that was, where was Oliver Lutkin? I found them all upset. When I informed them, they all became upset. Next morning, the case was coming up in the court because the next morning our case was there. Already scheduled, and they had to have Lutkins, and we won, and Lutkins' presence there was much more needed. I was shameful, useless fellow, and they all called me shameful and useless. That morning, my promising legal career almost came to an end before it had begun. So he was already having that dreams about his career to be gone up to heights, but that morning his all very lucrative career was coming to an end. Okay, so promising means assurance. He was having the assurance of his legal career, but that day it was about to end. The chief almost murdered me. The boss was in so anger that he was almost ready to murder him. He hinted that I might do well at digging ditches. He moreover taunted me by calling that I was only useful at the village and village's task. I was ordered back to the New Million, and with me went a man who had worked with Lutkins. So again they sent me to New Million by the next train, and this time one man was accompanying me to find out Lutkins because he had already seen him. I was rather sorry. I was feeling sorry. Not sorry for not finding the Lutkins. He was sorry because it would prevent my laughing all over again with Bill. He was just feeling sorry because he would not have the another chance to spend time idly. Laughing means to spend time idly with the Bill. So he was really very sorry because he could not enjoy the company of Bill now, and not having. When the train arrived at New Million, Bill was on the station. So when we reached there, New Million, Bill was already there at the station platform near his cart. Strangely enough, but there was something strange. What was the strange thing? That old tigress, Lutkins' mother, was there talking and laughing with Bill. I found that Oliver Lutkins' mother was talking to Bill, and she was laughing, not quarreling at all. And she was not quarreling means she was not fighting with him. From the train steps, I pointed Bill out of my companion and said, "There is a fine fellow, a real man. I spend the day with him." When the train stopped, I pointed towards Bill and made it clear to my companion the company I was having to go to that new million. So I informed him that that was the nice fellow. He was really genuine, and we spent the day together to find Oliver Lutkins. So what was the reply of that fellow who came along with the lawyer? He helped you hunt for Oliver Lutkins. So he asked me twice, so whether I was sure that this fellow helped me to find out Oliver Lutkins. Yes, he helped me a lot, and I made it a positive response. Yes, this is the same fellow who helped me to find out or to locate Lutkins. So he made fun by saying he must have his Lutkins himself. So this is the end of the story almost. So they came to know that why not? He could help because he was himself the Lutkins. What really hurt me was that when I served the summons, Lutkins and his mother laughed at me as though I were a bright boy of 7. So what was so hurting and so humiliating was that when I was handing over all the legal summons to Lutkins, his mother and he were laughing at him like he was some boy or a kid whom they have fooled so easily. With loving kindness, they begged me to go with them to the neighbor's house for a cup of coffee. They also asked to have a cup of coffee at their neighbor's house. So why they wanted to take him to neighbor's house? I told them about you and they are anxious to look at you, said Lutkins joyfully. In a happy mood, Lutkins announced that they wanted to take him to the neighbor because they told them about him and they were very eager to see a foolish like him. They are about the only folks in the town that missed seeing you yesterday. So they were only the one who had not seen him when he came there earlier. So we came to know that they were making fun of the lawyer.